Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here today in this great panel. I'm representing the Home Project, which is a relatively newly born non-profit organization with a mission to provide support, protection, education, and social integration services to children and youth that travel and arrive in Greece alone. We try to stop using the word refugees, just to stop this stigmatization. And but this is a very focused intervention indeed. I mean, we started 2 years ago after the EU-Turkey agreement in March 2016. This agreement has led to a decrease in the general number of arrivals. However, the arrivals of unaccompanied minors keep happening at an increasing rate. And just to give you an idea in terms of the numbers, right now it is estimated that around 4,000 unaccompanied children and youth are in Greece. And of those, 2,000 are currently homeless, which means they're in detention, in the streets, in camps, living in horrible conditions, coexisting with adults and exposed to all sorts of threats, from child abuse to organ trafficking to sexual exploitation. So the Home Project wants to cover this gap. The way we work is we're implementing a model that is based on 3 pillars. The first is that we offer a holistic network of child protection services in the shelters that we create and operate. So we offer social support, legal support, psychological support, pedagogical support, education, and technical training and job finding for the kids that become 18. The second element is that 50% of our staff comes from the refugee and migrant community in order to create jobs, but also role models for our kids. And the other 50% comes from Greek youth, also suffering from unemployment. And the third model is that we find buildings in Athens. It's a strategic choice to be in Athens because we believe that it's a city that can help us with the integration of these kids and this youth. We find buildings that have been abandoned or unrented for a very long time. We renovate them, adding value to the real estate property, and we pay the property tax and a rent to the owner. So the idea is really to create a win-win situation for everyone, for the refugees, for the kids, but also for the host community, for the Greeks. Empathy is one of our core organizational values. We believe that we must be near the kids, not only near the kids, but also near the staff and the neighborhoods where we operate. Because by doing that, we can really understand, observe the needs, and then adjust our operations so that we can be as impactful as possible. Empathy is a tool that we use in our operations in terms of child protection. So our staff is trained having empathy as a main tool to approach kids, to really put themselves in their shoes, to try understand what they've been through. It's necessary. Empathy, to reach empathy, we need to educate the people first. So they need to learn about these kids' stories. They need to learn how they reached here, what they've been through. We need to give them the legal context, the anthropological context, the cultural context. So education is really the first step towards empathy. Education of the staff, education of kids themselves, who need to learn what their rights are, what their legal status is, what are their next steps, how they can start building their future again. Another very important element in terms of encouraging empathy are the educational programs that we operate. All of our kids go to schools, public schools, but also intercultural schools. But we have partnerships with 2 big private schools, ACS Athens, the American Community School, and Athens College, where we do this program called Youth to Youth, and this program is based on building empathy between young people. And it's really very impressive to see how kids respond with empathy as a natural reaction. I'm going to read to you some questions that we received yesterday from when we presented the program to sixth graders of Athens College, where when we were talking about the problem, their first reaction was not, oh, congratulations about the great work you're doing, is what are we going to do with the 2,000 homeless kids? How does a child feel when she or he arrives at the shelter? What are their emotions? What were their emotions during the journey? So it's very inspiring to see this first natural reaction of empathy amongst the kids. So what we do is we buddy up one child from our shelters with one student from the school, and they're really the helpers, let's say, in the whole educational program that they do during the weekends, where teachers are teaching them Greek, English, art, math, music, and sports. And through this program, we managed to grant 18 scholarships for full-time tuition at high school. Now another element of our work where empathy is needed is community building. We have to operate in neighborhoods of Athens that have also suffered from the Greek financial crisis. So we really have to understand what our neighbors are going through. If there's a retiree mother with her 45-year-old unemployed son, and they've lost a big portion of their income, they've lost a lot of hope. It's very important to understand these people, so really try and put ourselves in their shoes to be able to communicate to them what we do. I mean, very often we have reactions such as, are you training ISIS youth? What are you doing here? Why aren't you helping Greek kids? Well, the answer to that is not to be angry or to react, is really to try and explain to them what the issue is, what these kids have been through, and introduce to them the humans behind the numbers, the humans behind the story. And this is where, you know, magic starts happening, when empathy starts waking up, and when they really, you know, empathize actually with the kids. This is where we see a change happening at a bottom-up level. So we have to really build this community. We're grateful to the municipality of Athens for their support. It's very important to be able to create an ecosystem of support around our work, starting from bottom up, sometimes from top down. We even use empathy as a tool for our fundraising. Our donors really have to be engaged to be able to be committed in this work. So we are not experts on literature, but we really try as a next step, and this is where a first collaboration with Need Books and with their generous support with books in the shelters is a first step. But we are looking forward in finding more ways where we can integrate literature and use it as a tool to encourage and develop empathy even further. Thank you.